Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Ukrainians finally come out and say it. Something that, was hinted here and there. Zelensky not only bypasses or tries to bypass the commander-in-chief, General Zaluzhny, in contacting generals, but he also forms direct links of communication with certain generals. He tries to isolate Zaluzhny, and we find out in this article that Zelensky has a good army and a bad army in the Ukrainian army. I think it was in maybe June last year, when I said that it's possible that Ukraine will fall into a civil war where you're going to have military having different allegiance, some of them wanting to stop the war, others will be ordered to continue, and we're going to have big problems over there. That's, I think, where we heading to. A little civil war, which the Ukrainians will lose again. So let's read this beautiful article from the New Voice of Ukraine. They report it, not the Russians. This is from December 4th, 2023. Zelensky reportedly forms direct links to top Ukrainian commanders, risks sidelining Army Chief Zaluzhny. It doesn't risk. That's the exact intention, to sideline him. This Ukrainian right here with Mr. Sirski. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say in, 2 days ago or so, 3 days ago, I said it before, Sirski is Zelensky's guy, together with Umerov, the defense minister, obviously. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has created parallel tracks for communication with commanders of various branches of the military, which bypasses the commander-in-chief Valery Zaluzhny. New Voice's sister outlet Ukrainska Pravda reported on December 4. What does that tell you? Are you going to have two chiefs of the same military? Why isn't Zelensky, let's say, dismissing Zaluzhny through the defense minister, the Crimean Tatar Umerov? Why not? So let's say the Zelensky Stein asks Umerov from Tatar origin to dismiss the only Ukrainian in the area. He's the only Ukrainian in the area. I'm not talking about Budanov and no. Zelensky, Zhmyhal, the prime minister, what's his name? Umerov, defense minister, Tatar, Yermak, the chief of staff of Ukraine, and you got Zaluzhny, the only one in the leadership position or in a important position who is. Why are they not dismissing him? Because they're afraid. They're afraid because he's got more popularity. He's more popular with the Ukrainians than the other guys are. The guys in charge of the Ukrainian nation. And they know that. I know that for a fact because I know some Ukrainians and I've been knowing Ukrainians for all my life. And I know exactly how they look at Zelensky, Zhmyhal, Reznikov, Yermak, Umerov. I know how they look at the Russians too, the Poles. I know exactly, first-hand experience. No love over there. So when they have Zelensky as the president, believe me, a lot of Ukrainians were like, "Что казали? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" No. So let's go back here. The parallel channels have supposedly been created to communicate with the commanders of the ground forces, Alexander Sirski, and the Air Force, Mykola Oleshchuk. These are Ukrainians, but it seems like they have an allegiance for someone else and for someone else's job. Direct contact with the commander speeds up. Oh, didn't you know that? You don't go through the chain of command. It speeds up. That's what it is. It's not what I said. It's just speeds up the work of the president, but destabilizes the work of the armed forces chief. It's nothing about speeding up. Speeding up maybe Zaluzhny's dismissal, who learns some information from his former subordinates only at general headquarters meetings, if at all. If he talks with So here it is, right here is very important, this one right here. Not that everything I said wasn't. And I'm quoting, you see, sometimes it seems, I think it is, that Zelensky has two types of armed forces. The good ones, commanded by Syrskyi and other favorites, and the bad ones, which are subordinated to Zaluzhny. Actually, Syrskyi is subordinated to Zaluzhny, and those other favorites are subordinated to Zaluzhny. And according, this is very demotivating. I think it's criminal, not demotivating. Let's use it. It's criminal because they want to get rid of Zaluzhny, like US and their commanders in the Middle East wants to get rid of Iran. No competition, said a person close to Zaluzhny. This is very demotivating for the commander-in-chief and, most importantly, prevents him from commanding the entire army. So that's already a civil war within the military, the army. And this is because things are not going according to plan. That's why. Because in a family, usually, if things are good, there's no arguments. If, there's money, you don't have problems at work, you're not sick, the family is doing okay, usually you go in vacations, the chances that arguments and things happen is when, have some hysterical, anyway, then something, or maybe it's a narcissistic here and there, or an idiot, whomever. But usually when things are going well, you tend to minimize if sex is still good, then those things are just put aside. When all these things start to squeak, then it shows the love. Until then, it shows something else. We're all good when things are good. Food, everybody, But when things are scarce, we start hurting, and when we start hurting, we start fighting for the resources. That's what in a family as well, or in a company, the same way. When the companies are doing great, unless you have some really, really, really bad people over there, as humans I'm talking about, then you're going to have, still going to be oppressed, and no raises, no outings, no Christmas party, nothing like that. Which in productive years, they should have it. Once the company is not productive, doesn't have big profit, then all these things are going to be minimized. The same, and people start arguing and want to be more rude or ruder and all that. The same here. They started having these cracks not because things are going down the tubes, and then they're going to look for a scapegoat. Who's going to be the scapegoat? I think they are preparing Zaluzhny for that award. And the scapegoat for the Ukrainian war is no NATO, no financial interest or military interest or energy interest. No. Not the financiers, not the profiteers, not the wizard politicians, not the media fake news, not Zelensky in charge of the Ukrainian nation, Putin by definition, and Zaluzhny. You're the winner. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.